coolers, TVs, mattresses, and more. Plus, shop today with a ready finance and pay nothing for 60 days. Take advantage of these sizzling summer deals for a limited time only. Shop in store and online at shopcourts.com. Conditions apply. Courts, bringing value home.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. I'm Caleb Berridge. Classes in 2 more schools will be engaging in remote learning as part of efforts to slow the spread of COVID-19. Statement issued by the Ministry of Education on Wednesday said that teachers and students of Grade 3, Room 1 of Tucker Clark Primary School and Grade 6, Room 3 of Sandy Point Primary School would engage in remote learning as of Thursday. These 2 schools are the latest changes in operation as the ministry responds to the growing number of positive COVID cases. Minister of Education Honorable Jonelle Powell earlier said the situation is fluid and the schools will be using either a shift system or remote learning to adapt the advice given by the Ministry of Health in efforts to protect the health of the nation's children. The Independence Night Market has been dubbed a success by the Ministry of Agriculture. The event was held on Wednesday night as part of Independence Anniversary celebrations. More in this report.
From as early as Wednesday afternoon, the public market on the Bay Road was buzzing with activity as shoppers filled the aisles checking out the goods for sale at various vendors' stalls. This was the second staging of the night market for the year and gave farmers, agro-processors and other local vendors a chance to boost their sales with the expected crowd. From local produce to grilled lobster, the event provided a wide assortment of products for the general public. Among them, Prime Minister Dr. the Honourable Timothy Harris, who was on hand sampling the variety of goods on sale. In an interview with ZIZ News, Acting Director of Agriculture Dr. Tracy Challenger said she was happy with the turnout and the interaction with the vendors.
There was a good turnout. People generally enjoyed themselves. The customers, they were not just walking around in the market, they were actually purchasing food, produce. And of course the Prime Minister was there, so that was another welcome addition, and that people appreciate him being there, taking part in the activity, showing that agriculture is, as he would say, dear to his heart. So generally, I felt good about the turnout.
She said the vendors themselves were pleased with the sales and there haven't been any more complaints about relocating to the market.
They were contented, they were happy with the sales that they got. So you didn't hear too much about moving from off of the street and having to go into the market. I didn't hear any of the sort. As a matter of fact, I think based on what I saw and the few persons I spoke to, that they were fairly happy.
She said since its launch in 2020, the night market continues to grow in popularity and they plan to stage one every 3 months next year. Another night market is planned for December. Jason Davis for ZIZ News.
The local intelligence office, which is part of the Royal St. Christopher Navy's Police Force, is the main agency responsible for data collection. Over the past decades, the data collection process has evolved to address policing strategies and meet the needs of partnering agencies. That's according to Sergeant Winston Thompson, supervisor with responsibility for the local intelligence office, who was speaking during ZIZ Radio's program Policing With You on Thursday. He explained that in the past, data was captured in logbooks, but it was difficult to then find the information needed from these books in a timely manner.
In the past, all of our information was collected in logbooks and diaries, and it is difficult to find that data, to search through it, and to produce data in a timely manner because of those how it is recorded in those logbooks and diaries.
Sergeant Thompson said the department then opted to use forms to capture data, which made retrieval of information easier.
We changed how we were doing things in that we started using forms. These forms would then capture the bulk of the crime information on what we call incident forms, crime report forms, and custody record forms. And the forms made it easier for us to find the data, because with the form you can go to that place to find that information or go to this place to find that information.
Correct.
Whereas with the logbooks you have to reach an entire entry to find that one little piece of information you're looking for.
He added that along with the forms, the department started capturing data using computer programs such as Microsoft Excel. Sergeant Thompson said in 2019, the local intelligence office started using a more tailor-made digital record system known as the Crime Management System, CMS. He noted that before this system was introduced, the department would only analyze and examine major crimes. Now with CMS, he said the department can now focus on all incidents in an effort to have a better understanding of what is happening in our communities. After the break, counseling department in St. Kitts rebranding and deer fatalities on the rise. Stay with us.
Triple the joy at home as you elevate your experience with Flo's new Triple Play bundles. For the first time ever, bundle up and save on internet, TV, and home phone together for more satisfaction. For as low as $175, enjoy up to 35 megabits per second super fast internet, 70 TV channels with HD entertainment, and free landline minutes with the all-in bundle. Visit your nearest Flo store to sign up for a Triple Play bundle. Conditions apply.
Be a hero. September is the month of heroes in St. Kitts and Nevis. And for the months of September to October, Hosford's Automotive wants you to be a hero too. Yes, drive like a hero at the massive Hosford's Automotive Be a Hero sales event. Go to Hosford's Automotive today and drive away like a hero with up to $35,000 discount on select models. Your choice of either free gas for 3 months or up to $1,000 in free groceries. Pay just 10% VAT. Yeah, just 10% VAT. Free servicing for 1 year. Free bill of sale. Free registration, licensing, and tinting. 0 down payment. That's right. Absolutely 0 down payment. And much, much more. Drive away like a hero from Hosford's Be a Hero sales event. The biggest, most heroic sales event ever in the Federation. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Welcome back. The counseling department in St. Kitts and Nevis will be undergoing a rebranding process in order to broaden the scope of practice and better serve the general public. That's according to Deputy Director within the counseling department, Naima Hazel, who was speaking during her appearance on Wednesday's edition of Working for You.
There is a broad scope change to what we do. So even though people see the National Counseling Center in a very limited way, we are rebranding so people can see the work that we actually do, and looking at ways that we can deliver our services so that our resources are being properly utilized.
The Deputy Director said it was important to consider rebranding and broadening the scope to also improve the working relationships between all stakeholders.
We want both our clients and us as practitioners to find ways that we can work towards mutually beneficial relationships and improve the service with the resources that we have and the needs that we're seeing in the community, which are ever growing every day. So as we look towards our future, we see ourselves, and Cabinet obviously saw us the same way and expanded our scope to see us as a national counseling center so that we could look more closely at how we are assessing our value for service and how that will be defined in the future.
Ms. Hazel said the aim is to raise awareness of the public to the services of the counseling unit.
The way that we're broadening our scope, we're hoping to do that so people will get a better understanding of the services that we provide, if they need those services, and when they need those services, how to access them through either our agency or through different referral agencies.
Some of the services include clinical counseling intervention, employer assistance program, EAP, clinical assessments, crisis management and response, limited online and virtual counseling, psychoeducational sessions, as well as family matters services. The Department of Environment is encouraging persons to do what they can to ensure the survival of the white-tailed deer in St. Kitts. The deer was introduced to St. Kitts in the 1930s and became the only mammal protected by legislation in 1987. As such, it is illegal for persons to endanger these animals in any way. Drivers at the Southeast Peninsula are therefore being encouraged to drive carefully in efforts to prevent accidents with deer in the area. Forestry officer in the Department of Environment, Dr. Eric Brown, said the rate of accidents involving deer is increasing.
Throughout this year, we have gotten over almost 10 cases of deer being struck by vehicles. And I'm saying being struck and killed. And this is alarming, because if that keeps on going, from what you've seen over there, there's not really much of them. So if this rate of kill is continued, we're putting them in danger. We don't want to get rid of them. It's a lovely attraction. They're now part of us.
Dr. Brown said signs will be erected in the area to remind the drivers to be cautious.
Although the whole area is actually deer, what I refer to as deer country, there's a certain area where the accidents with the deer are more prevalent. So I'm going to put signage there with the hope that later on I will get additional signs to put at different areas. But so as to alert especially drivers. And so now I'm making an appeal. When you're on the Southeast Peninsula, especially when you reach Sundance Ridge, especially, then you start to watch especially your speed limit, right? You watch it, be mindful.
Dr. Brown said the deer population is thriving, as he has seen some with fawns recently. Most of the accidents occur at night as these deer, unlike their U.S. counterparts, are more active at night. A study is currently being conducted to determine the number of deer in St. Kitts. The Allianz Française is going green. The French institution in St. Kitts and Nevis is making an effort to become more environmentally conscious by employing renewable energy mechanisms in its Allianz Verte or Green Alliance project. Through the UNDP GEF Small Grants Program, a solar-powered water heater and water catchment system were installed in Phase 1, which ran from May to September of this year. Denison Paul, owner of Waterworks Solution, is the contractor of the project. He explained what has been done in a documentary video posted on the Allianz Française Facebook page.
As part of the improvement of this system, there was no hot water facility, so we are installing a solar water heater. Again, we are trying to maintain environmental sustainability. And so it's a solar water heater. This is the panel. This is the tank. This is 65 gallons in capacity. It is supposed to be raised on the roof to capture the sun rays. Again, in the spirit of sustainability, we have installed a pump pressure tank. That's the pump. The pressure tank is back there, and a water storage tank, 800 gallons of water. Right. In this area, the water supply from the mains, the government mains, is not as reliable.
He spoke of the other phases of the project.
The good thing is that it has the possibility eventually for rainwater harvesting, where you can attach gadgets here and get water into the tank after rainfall. All right. So this system is automated. It's not completely set up as yet, but when it's done, if the mains go off, this automatically cuts in, so that the Allianz should never be out of water here.
According to Paul, a water engineer and former manager at the Water Services Department, St. Kitts has experienced drought conditions since 2015, when annual rainfall for that year was at a historic low. This situation has only improved slightly since. He said the island relies on wells for 75% of its water supply, which is being threatened by drought and rising sea levels. The Allianz Verte project is made possible through the collaborative efforts of Her Majesty's Prison, the National Skills Training Program, Parks and Beaches Unit, the Ministry of Public Works, and others in the private sector. And finally, on the local scene, the St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Committee will be hosting a virtual release party on Thursday to reveal the submissions for this year's Sugar Mass 50 song competition. In a post to their Facebook page, the committee noted that only 5 submissions will advance to the finals. The event will be hosted by radio personality Sweet Sister Sensia and will be broadcast live on all social media platforms of the St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival. The event starts at 8 p.m. Coming up in regional news, U.S. Haiti envoy quits over inhumane deportations. The details when we come back.
Here are your Hostels Value Mart IG Value Club Blue Tag specials.
Running September 23rd to October 6th.
Langer's Cranberry Juices, $9.99. Rice-A-Roni or Pastoroni, $5.99. Snap Pack 4-pack, $4.99. Florida Natural Orange Juice, $12.99. Planet Oat Milk, $9.99. Wishbone Salad Dressings, $9.99 each. And now, our very low weekly
value deals. Super Chill Soda, $6.99. Lay's Stack Chips, $4.99. Peter Pan Peanut Butter, $10.99. Boost Nutritional Drinks, $7.99. IG Essential Everyday Cornflakes, $6.99. Moitran Ramen Noodles, just 99 cents. Shop smart, shop value mart. Chuar in español.
Sea listo y haga sus compras a Value Mart.
There is no better time to discover what your National Bank Visa debit or Black Cards can do.
Mimi, what's that song?
It can get you out of a pickle. Using my National Bank Visa card is fast, secure, and convenient.
Cashless SKN is our new lifestyle choice. National Bank, always here.
Summer is ending, but the deals are just beginning with the Court's end of summer sale. Get up to 50% off your favorite items, to include patio furnishings, pools, coolers, TVs, mattresses, and more. Plus, shop today with the Ready Finance and pay nothing for 60 days. Take advantage of these sizzling summer deals for a limited time only. Shop in store and online at shopcourts.com. Conditions apply. Courts, bringing value home.
And we're moving now to news on the regional scene. The U.S. Special Envoy for Haiti has resigned over what he has called the inhumane treatment of Haitian migrants by the U.S. government. In a letter, Ambassador Daniel Foote said the U.S. policy to deport thousands of Haitian asylum seekers and refugees was counterproductive and deeply flawed.
Back where the US says they belong, an unwelcome homecoming for these Haitians, literally left to pick up the pieces, after heading off in search of greater things, for some as far back as a decade ago. But battling on across the Caribbean Sea, these Haitian and South American migrants remain undeterred, on a long, determined march to America, if they can catch a boat to exit Colombia first.
We want them to let us cross from here to Panama before the United States closes its border. They are going to take away our dreams. I come from Peru. I've been struggling.
But stranded in Colombia, Robert is not alone.
Desde la Defensoría del Pueblo.
Almost 19,000 migrants are stranded in this municipality. They're trying to catch transport across the water, but we must respect the quota of 250 passengers a day.
After passing through Colombia's bottleneck, a migrant's typical journey can take them on a treacherous walk for days through Panama, then to Costa Rica, neighboring Nicaragua, then Honduras, and Guatemala, eventually landing in Mexico. Finally crossing the border with America, which has become a game of cat and mouse. On the US side, Texas patrol cars line up at this border town. Buses take some migrants back to Mexico, where they seek shelter in makeshift camps.
I feel disappointed because we crossed over to the US and it wasn't what we expected. They were very mean to us. Just imagine, they treated us like we were trash. They didn't give us food, water, there's no doctors, nothing. A lot of children, pregnant women. Things are really hard for us.
Elsewhere, Mexican authorities raid hotels looking for them, to deport them on from there. For America's president, this pile-up is a political problem. Thousands are being moved to processing centres. Plane journeys are reportedly being ramped up this week to fly migrants back home. All the while, others continue to wade in, risking their lives to get to America. Mark Lobel, BBC News.
Thousands of Venezuelans escaping poverty and violence at home are risking their lives by crossing one of the driest places on earth, the Atacama Desert, to reach Chile. Al Jazeera's Lucia Newman reports from Colquín, Chile.
This is the oldest, the driest, and the highest non-polar desert in the world. According to NASA, the Atacama is the closest thing on Earth to the rugged, arid terrain of planet Mars. But for undocumented migrants, it's one of the most treacherous environments on Earth. We find this small group of young Venezuelans who've just made the journey across the Bolivian border into Chile.
You can die trying to get here. The cold is indescribable. We had to leave 2 others behind. They may not make it.
I thought I wouldn't survive. I couldn't breathe.
It's a 5,000-kilometer journey from Venezuela to Colombia, then Ecuador, down to Peru, and then from Bolivia into Chile, the final destination.
It took me almost 5 months to get here. I was robbed and had to walk from Peru.
They're grateful for the bag of fruit we're able to give them. They say they've had nothing to eat for at least 3 days and almost no water or money. So they keep walking in the direction of Chile's capital, Santiago, another 2,000 kilometers south. At the first Chilean border town, called Chane, Dr. Guillermo Tapia is on call 24 hours a day.
Many of the migrants are asthmatic, which causes difficulty in breathing at this altitude. Add acute dehydration and intense cold, they end up with hypothermia. We have seen multiple deaths caused by it. At the end, the victim starts taking off his or her clothes, thinking they are not hot instead of freezing.
But there are other hazards. Apart from robbery, many migrants who can't pay traffickers or Bolivian police to allow them to cross into Chile say they've been victims of sex abuse. Once here, the danger isn't over either, says Colonel Andres Arenas.
Smugglers locked up a group of 49 Venezuelans who couldn't pay in a house 190 kilometers from here. We found them last week thanks to one of the victims, a child, who called his mother, who in turn alerted us. The traffickers, by the way, were Venezuelans themselves.
The route is becoming a magnet for criminals to prey on undocumented migrants who are not legally allowed to be in Chile. Yet they keep coming, driven by desperation to make money to send to those left behind at home. It's like a gold rush, with no guarantee that the risk will be worth it. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera, Colchane, Chile.
Coming up, Romanian hospitals fill up amid vaccine refusal. We'll tell you more when we come back.
Imagine having the luxury of putting all your trust in one insurance company and being able to enjoy a life to the fullest without having to worry. Well, don't imagine. National Caribbean Insurance is here to take care of all your insurance needs. Insure your life, vehicle, boat, home, belongings, and your future. At NCI, we make it our business to ensure that you enjoy every stage in life. We serve, we protect, we satisfy. That's NCI.
Welcome back. Romanian hospitals are facing strain as they fill up with COVID-19 patients and the country braces for a fourth wave of the pandemic. More in this report.
Romania is bracing for a fourth wave, and with the second lowest vaccination rate in the European Union, its hospitals could be overwhelmed. Romania eased restrictions despite the low uptake. Just 34% of the adult population is fully vaccinated. That's blamed on entrenched distrust in state institutions, misinformation campaigns, poor infrastructure in the countryside, and weak education about the vaccine. Raul Adin is 20 years old, unvaccinated, and breathing through a respirator. Asked if he plans to have the shot when he recovers, he says 100%. So does Roxana Pascu, who says she made it through 3 waves without a vaccine and thought she was safe. Daily infection rates are nearing a record high of over 10,000, and health officials fear that will rise to 15 to 20,000 in October. But Romania had only 32 intensive care beds available as of Wednesday, and was struggling to add more because of staff shortages. Anita Timofte is a nurse in the capital Bucharest. Her institute's morgue is full and looking to rent mortuary freezers. For the living, she says, there are too few staff to operate this mobile ICU ward.
I don't think this mobile unit will cope with the coming wave. I suspect there won't be room for the number of people unlucky enough to get sick.
The country is now reintroducing some curbs, including weekend curfews in badly hit areas. Schools are increasingly moving online. Along with finding more staff and beds, the country plans to introduce a lottery with vouchers and cash prizes to boost vaccinations.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration authorized a booster dose of the Pfizer and BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine for those 65 and older, all people at high risk of severe disease, and others who are regularly exposed to the virus. Here's more.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration authorized a booster shot of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine on Wednesday for Americans 65 and older and some considered high risk. The third jab is to be given at least 6 months after completion of the second dose. The FDA authorization would include people most vulnerable to the disease and in high-risk frontline jobs. President Joe Biden announced in August the government's intention to roll out booster shots for people aged 16 and older this week, pending approval by the FDA and CDC. A U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention advisory panel could vote on Thursday on the use of a third shot of the vaccine, according to an agency official earlier in the week. The FDA overwhelmingly rejected a call for broader approval, with top members split on the need for boosters for the general population. Some of the agency's senior scientists argued that current evidence does not support boosters for all those aged 16 and above. Some countries, including Israel and Britain, have started rolling out booster campaigns.
Up next in sports, Jamaica records first ever World Rugby Sevens Series win, and Trinidad and Tobago sprint cyclist Quincy Alexander speaks on cycling needs. Stay with us.
Imagine having the luxury of putting all your trust in one insurance company and being able to enjoy a life to the fullest without having to worry. Well, don't imagine. National Caribbean Insurance is here to take care of all your insurance needs. Insure your life, vehicle, boat, home, belongings, and your future. At NCI, we make it our business to ensure that you enjoy every stage in life. We serve, we protect, we satisfy. That's NCI.
First up in sports, Jamaica recorded another historic moment in sports as the island's rugby football union team, the Reggae Crocs, won their first ever game in the World Rugby 7 Series in Vancouver, Canada. More in this TVJ Sports report.
It was 19-year-old teenager sensation Jack Rampton who led Jamaica to a 10-5 win over their more fancied rivals, Chile. The Reggae Crocs did it the hard way as they came from behind to pick up their historic victory after being 5-0 down. Jamaica-based substitute O'Shane Eddy got things rolling in the second half for the Crocs, equalizing in the 13th minute.
That's a second yellow card is indeed a red. Referee's not clocked it. But much to the light of the crowd here. Good tap and go. Just a little bit of sleep here. Comes hard up his right foot. Far too easy.
The Jamaicans then took charge of the game as the Britain-based Rampton set the series on its head with Jamaica's match-winning try in the 17th minute.
The crowd are quietly favoring this Jamaican side, their North American cousins. The tournament organizers must be going nuts. He's free, he's in space. This is a huge moment for Jamaica. Jack Rampton will give Jamaica their first ever HSBC World Series win. Well, two teams who are making every single minute of this marathon match count. Just seen the winning moment, and look at these pictures. Massive amount of elation on the face. Technical Director of Jamaica's Rugby Sevens team, Bruce Martin, praised the team for their history-making performance.
Very, very proud of my team today. Excited time out here in Vancouver, winning our first HSBC Sevens game, beating Chile 10-5. That's a big upset over here. The boys are proud of themselves. Hope Jamaica proud of them.
The win was made even more sweet as the Jamaicans held their nerve and kept their head after losing captain Conan Osborne after being down by 5. Osborne was stretchered off after dislocating his ankle. The Crocs also recovered from losing their first 3 games on Saturday.
More to come. Next week we're moving on to Hamilton Sevens in Canada. So let's see how we finish in that. Hope to have a better start. Yesterday was a rough day at the office, going down to Great Britain, Ireland and Hong Kong. And it's good. Resiliency the boys showed.
The Crocs finished 10th overall as they went down to Germany in the 9th place playoff. Denise Walters for TVJ Sports.
Trinidad and Tobago sprint cyclist Quincy Alexander is keen to gather more support for the country's cyclists before they push off to their next competition. Here's more.
Like the rest of his teammates, Quincy Alexander has already begun to prepare for the next ride with the long-term goal of reaching the 2024 Olympics. However, he's well aware of the costs that success can incur.
Before you wink, the whole cycle begins again. And this time around, I have great perspective in being there, and hopefully we can get funding for a coaching staff and a coaching system to be put into place, because since our last coach Aaron Hartwell left, all of the medals and the achievements that cycling has been getting, it has been under very bare minimum. And I think our cycling team, even from corporate TNT, could use a lot more support.
The TTCF's 2019 Elite Sprint champion says there's been a streak of performances from as far back as 2007, which should motivate corporate sponsors. Alexander revealed he relished the opportunity to compete at the recently concluded UCI Nations Cup.
I was happy being there in Colombia. Obviously, with it being my first event in almost 2 years, I was a bit rusty on the technical side of things, but from here on, moving forward, I should be able to perform a lot better. I'm trying to, up my game with perspective coaching and just being in a correct environment that would allow me to give my best performance overall.
TTCF President Rowena Williams is headed to the UCI Congress this week, she says, to ensure the nation's cyclists have all the resources they need right here at home. She says in addition to resuming development meets, the TTCF will focus on capitalizing on the uptick of cycling interest in the country among the nation's youth. Jovan Ravello, TTT Sport.
And that's it for sports. When we come back, we'll have another look at the stories that made the headlines.
The Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. the Honourable Timothy Harris, wants to alert the public about fake Facebook and social media accounts that are circulating. These sites may look genuine, but they're not. These fake sites may use the Prime Minister's photo and name, but their only intention is to spread misinformation through false and scandalous information. Some of these pages are scams and will attempt to dupe you out of money. Do not trust them. You can find the real Prime Minister Harris on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by searching for his official handle, which is @PMHarrisKN. Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages that claim to be the Prime Minister's but do not have PM Harris KN right after the / are fake accounts. These should be reported to the respective social media sites. You can also report fake social media accounts to presssec@gov.kn. That's PRESSEC@gov.kn. Facebook has verified Prime Minister Harris's official page by placing a white check mark inside a blue circle next to the Prime Minister's name, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris. This blue circle appears just above at PM Harris KN. Also, be alert. If the person claiming to be either the Prime Minister or another government official asks you for money through instant messenger, direct message, or any other means, this is a scam and not a real charity. This public service announcement was produced in order to help you be an informed social media user. Protect yourself and help spread the message.
And we're wrapping up with a recap of the top stories. More classes switched to remote learning. Agri-night market deemed a success, and police stepping up methods of data collection. And that's the end of the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carla Berridge. Goodbye.